Hey everybody, welcome back. Purdy says hello. I'll go ahead and address the elephant in the room. I do have my PJ bottoms on, but I did put a bra and a hairless top on so that I can make another dish. It's not a dish, it's a snack that I'm going to try. I don't think I'm going to like it, but if I don't like it, my dad said he would take mine if he likes it. So we will see how this goes. And the reason why I say that is because I'm picky and I'm not a big vinegar person and I'm not a big salt person. But I came across a recipe for salted watermelon. And I've discovered that in Russia they pickle everything, according to somebody who has a Russian mother, and which makes sense. It preserves everything. Things last longer and that sort of thing. So we're going to try pickled watermelon today and kind of go from there. I did a little bit of prep work, but before I get into the prep work, this is the jar I'm going to use. It's got one of the clip lids with this rubber seal. So I'm hoping that will go well. The recipe, this part of the recipe, the water part, is 6 cups of water. It says 1/4 cup of kosher salt, but I don't have kosher salt, so I did about 1/8 of a cup of Mediterranean sea salt, coarse Mediterranean sea salt. And then it also calls for 1/4 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar or white vinegar. I did apple cider. And 1 tablespoon of peppercorns. I started to panic. Whoops, Pretty got under my feet. I started to panic because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get the cap off and was having difficulty doing that. So I Googled how to take the cap off of the grinder because they're supposed to be refillable, and figured out how to do that. So we've got a peppercorn medley. So I put 1 tablespoon of that in there. And then you put this on the stove and bring it to a simmer. I'm going to put it on medium-high while I go ahead and cut up the watermelon. So I've washed off the watermelon. That's what that towel was for. And I'm going to go ahead, let's move these to this side so that when I start putting stuff in, you guys can see. And I realize I'm not talking very loud, so I apologize. Did I mention there's a thunderstorm going on? So I do have the window closed, although I think the rain has stopped. It's still raining, but it's not too loud. The thunder is loud though, so you may hear some thunder. I'm going to cut off the ends. Like that. Now normally with my watermelon I cube it. Take all the rind off and then cut it into cubes. But I'm going to try to keep the rind on with this recipe and kind of go from there. Whoops. I think this watermelon might be okay. The other watermelon that I bought with it does not taste very good. I'm still eating it because that's my snack for the week, but it's not the best watermelon. But this one looks like it'll be okay. The other one had a lot of white inside. Trying not to cut them too thick, but not too thin either. It is a sharp knife. I just sharpened it. It's my grandfather's knife that I've had it since 1997 at least. I might have had it before that. And I had not sharpened it at all in that 27 years. And I just sharpened it about a month ago. So it is sharp. It's just tough to cut through. Oops, got it a little thick on the bottom there. There's the fin. I was never good at cutting evenly. I failed scissor cutting. The thunder echoes around here because of the mountains. So we get a lot of echo with it. We did have it show up on the seismometers recently. That tells you how much the thunder shakes the ground. Yeah, we'll leave it thick. Okay. Now, I'm going to cut it into wedges. This should be easier. They said you can do wedges or you can cut it up however you want. They like to leave the rind on. So that's why I'm trying it this way rather than doing my cubed way. If I end up liking it, I may just do the cubes in the future. We will see. I'm going to go ahead and, because I'm not going to have enough room I was going to cut it all up and then put everything in. But I'm going to run out of room. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of the pieces in. So they say to put the aromatic stuff on the bottom first. So that would be the dill, garlic, and bay leaves, and serrano chili. So the garlic, it says 4 to 5 garlic cloves. But I have 3 jars, so I'm just going to put 2 in each. And I bought them already peeled because I was not going to mess with that mess again. I've done it, been there, not going to do it again. I'm going to save some of the dill to put some on top. So, bottom, bottom, bottom. All right. And the amount of dill, it said half of a bunch of dill. Stems on. So we're just putting a bunch of dill. I do not like peppers, so it says for the recipe as a whole, 2 small serrano chilies halved. My dad and my friend like chilies, so we are doing this for them. It did not say to de-seed, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm leaving the seeds and everything on. I don't know if they will loosen up as they soak, but it takes a lot of time to de-seed. And why do it if you don't need to? I'm going to turn the heat off on the water. Okay, had to move you all, so you might have noticed movement. Going to put the rest in one of these bowls. Oh, I forgot the bay leaves. It's supposed to be 3 to 4 bay leaves, fresh if possible. Don't have fresh. So I'm just going to put 2 in each. I'm actually going to have to find a different dish because this isn't big enough. I don't know if I have anything else big enough. Okay. So everything's cut up between these 3 jars, which are 9.9 cups each. Yeah, 9.9 cups. And then this jug, which I got from, it was left over from a fundraiser I'd done. So I don't know how big it actually is or anything, but obviously bigger than these. The water is still going to be hot, which is why they recommend glass. However, we will see how that jug does. Hopefully it won't distort it too much. Pour the liquid over the watermelon in jars. Top with the remaining bay leaves and a little more dill if desired. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. I washed off the cutting board. I might have to make more of this solution. There's one jar. It's hot to touch too. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and finish up making water for the rest of the containers, and then I will come back on my cell phone and we'll take a look at things, as well as give these a taste in a few days and see if I like them. This is Editing Sherry, and as usual, I forgot to check and see if you guys could hear what I was saying, and of course you cannot. So I'm going to record what it is I think I remember going through my head. We are going to taste the watermelon, and I have it right here. There's a thin slice and a thick slice, and Purdy wants to get some of it as well. I think I was also apologizing for how sweaty I was. I forget what I was doing. This was 4 days later. and I was doing something around the house, and I was drenched in sweat. As you can see there, Purdy tried to get further into my lap. You guys can't tell how much I'm procrastinating because I'm cutting all the dead air out. Here we go. We're going to take a nibble. Not sure what to think. It's different. We're going to give another bite. I remember the first one, the thin slice, was very dilly because that was the one that had the dill sitting right up on top of it. You can also taste the garlic pretty good. So I go ahead and finish eating that piece. Now we're going to try the thick piece, see if there's any difference between the thin and the thick. I can't remember what I said here, but I actually liked the thicker piece of watermelon better. It might have been because it didn't have the dill sitting right on top of it as well. So my final decision as far as my tasting is that it's not bad. It's something a little different. It's not something I want to make all of the time, but maybe every once in a blue moon we might make some pickled watermelon. My dad and my friend have both finished their jars, and my dad said that he really likes the serrano chili being in the pickled watermelon. He likes hot stuff, so that didn't surprise me any. And I still have 1.5 jars left. Thank you all for joining me on this one, and I will see you all on the next Mediterranean dish, although this one's not really Mediterranean. Thank y'all. Bye.